Newsom, of course, Arkansas's senator. Senator, what does he need to know? Is going to be a committee vote, and there's going to be a floor vote. Make your decision. What is he waiting on?
Well, Brian, I think he's waiting for as many people to vote as possible. He knows that packing the court, because you don't like the judicial philosophy of justices, is wildly unpopular. Not even Franklin Delano Roosevelt, at the height of his power in 1937, could pack the court. But Joe Biden doesn't want to give a straight answer to that question because he's stuck between his radical left-wing base and the vast majority of Americans. So he's trying to run out the clock as millions of people are voting. By some measures, over 30 million people have already voted. He's talking about letting another 30 or 40 million people vote before he gives a straight answer. Is he going to pack the Supreme Court? I think we can infer that Joe Biden and the Democrats do want to pack the court, fundamentally undermining its legitimacy and the rule of law.
And Senator, can I just say, isn't that Schumer's call? Schumer's going to make that call. He could pretend as if he's making the call, but he's not.
Well, let me just say that I don't think Joe Biden will be a historically strong president within his own party. Between Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I'm not sure that Chuck Schumer is going to be able to get all of them in line.
Yes, it all depends on what they tell him to do. Senator, stand by because we've got one. We're going to go down to Washington for a moment. Extraordinarily, during the town hall, they did not ask Joe Biden, Griff, about Hunter Biden and those emails that are once again making big news all across the country.
You know, that's right, Steve. It's been slow dripping off the front page of the New York Post for 3 days, and apparently none of it fell into Stephanopoulos' lap last night. Now, Fox News obtained several new emails since I reported this yesterday. Now, in addition to the ones reportedly between Hunter and that top executive at the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma involving an alleged meeting arranged with his then vice presidential father, now these new ones raise questions about Hunter's dealings with China. This one, a May 2017 email, is about remuneration packages that includes payment for 6 people, one of whom is called, quote, the big guy. Another from August 2017. Hunter is seeking $10 million a year for 3 years in a deal that would be, quote, interesting for me and my family. Now, these emails are emanating from a hard drive obtained by Rudy Giuliani, given to him by a Delaware computer repair shop owner. Giuliani, appearing on this show in the last hour, had this to say.
About a day later, Hunter is laying out the office he's going to share with the Chinese communists. He's going to share it with a Chinese communist intelligence agent. The first 2 keys he asked for is for Joe Biden and Jill Biden. I have that memo. What's he putting his father in that office for if his father's not getting 10%, if his father's not the big guy?
Strong allegations. Now, Hunter Biden's attorney yesterday releasing a statement saying we have no idea where this came from and certainly cannot credit anything that Rudy Giuliani provided to the New York Post. But what I do know for certain is that this purported meeting never happened. Meanwhile, Twitter is reversing its policy on posting hacked materials after the backlash over censoring the Post story, claiming they will label questionable tweets instead of blocking them. Twitter and other social media giants may soon be answering to this, as the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham says he's likely to subpoena them. As a result, this as the Senate Homeland Security Committee, led by Ron Johnson, is investigating the validity of this story, of these emails, of this hard drive, and a group of 19 House Republicans sending a letter to FBI Director Chris Wray demanding answers. Steve, Ainsley, Brian.
All right. Thank you so much, Griff. Let's bring back in Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, are y'all going to get to the bottom of this so that the truth is revealed?
Well, I hope so, Ainsley. But what these documents reveal, if authentic, is largely what we've known all along about Hunter Biden and really Joe Biden's entire family, is that they've been trading on his public office for decades. The reports about Hunter Biden being on the board of Burisma or getting Chinese money have been long known. But we learned this week that his son-in-law was advising his campaign on the coronavirus response while he's also investing in numerous healthcare companies, which is obviously a highly regulated industry. James Biden, his brother, has long been accused of trading on Joe Biden's public office, and his sister has built a lucrative campaign consulting business over Joe Biden's tenure. I mean, the Biden family is beginning to rival the Clinton family in the amount of money they make off of one politician's office.
And it looks like Hunter, with all his challenges, according to one email, is upset that he has to give 50% of all the money he earns to his dad. If we're to believe these emails. So get inside that family. It doesn't seem like any other network, any other paper, any social media group is that interested in retweeting or allowing us to. Meanwhile, talk about the fallout yesterday between Twitter and Facebook deciding to ban anybody that tries to post and repost this. What is your thoughts, first off, on the fact that they're subpoenaed as the CEO of Twitter to come to Capitol Hill next week?
Well, I'm glad that we're going to subpoena Jack Dorsey to come to Capitol Hill. These big tech oligarchs need to answer for their censorship of conservative and Republican voices. It's been going on for years. This week, though, they declared open war on the Republican Party and conservatives across America. And my message for these big tech oligarchs is simple. Winter is coming.
Yeah, one other thing, I heard a number of your colleagues say that what Twitter and what Facebook were doing was essentially, with about less than 20 days before an election, it was election interference. And that's why, Jack's going to go. And Twitter Must Sing is the cover of the New York Post. But the chairman of the FCC, Ajit Pai, also yesterday made it very clear that Section 230, which has protected these big online companies, given them immunity because they were supposed to be fair and balanced, neutral, but instead they're acting more like publishers, so they should be held accountable like publishers are. If you're going to do one thing a certain way, you got to do it the other way, but it seems completely imbalanced, Senator.
We do need to strip away the immunity that Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act gave these companies, whether the FCC does it or whether Congress does it. And obviously the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission and state attorneys generals are investigating these companies for antitrust violations as well. They could face sanctions up to and including being broken up.
So, Senator, if you look at the political donations that Twitter has given, 98.9, so 99% have gone to Democrats, 1% to Republicans.
Who are the 1%?
Look at Facebook, almost 92% to Democrats and 8% to Republicans. So what does this mean? Is there an outlet out there where you get fair and balanced news, where you get everything?
Yes.
I think we're sitting on it, Ainsley.
No, I'm talking about on social media.
Well, Ainsley, it's not a surprise that those contributions are going to the Democratic Party so monolithically. When Mark Zuckerberg testified in front of Congress last year, he said that Silicon Valley is an extremely liberal place. I think everyone knows that, but I think it's been exposed even more this week when Twitter and Facebook began to block content from one of the largest circulated papers in America, one of the oldest and most venerable papers in America. Not some random bot or troll on the web, but a reputable newspaper that is widely read. This kind of censorship cannot be tolerated.
But so far, they just keep going along and everything just keeps happening. They go in front of Congress and then nothing happens from there. I guess it's all up to the election and see who prevails, who's in the majority. Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. Here's Jillian with more.